Everybody knows that I've had a lot of visions in the past. And one night, how they started was I was having trouble sleeping at night. And I was talking to Jenny. We used to talk to each other sometimes and talk for hours on the phone while I was doing daycare, just run around. And I told her about it. She's like, well, sometimes maybe that's because Jesus wants to talk to you. So one night when I was having trouble sleeping again, I remembered that. And I closed my eyes and I started talking to God and wanting him to tell me what he wanted to tell me. And God said, no, just listen. So I closed my eyes and just sat quietly for a minute. And all of a sudden I just had this vision come in. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. And by the time it was done, it was like 5 o'clock in the morning. I didn't sleep. I felt every single thing. And I had the Holy Spirit come over me so strong. And I've had a couple other visions after that. And they're always about things that were coming. And I always knew they were coming. I didn't know when, but I knew they were coming. We've been taught our whole life of things that were, was predicted in the Bible. And the last couple of months, actually it was like, I haven't had a vision since before COVID. It's been like 4 years. And I haven't done really anything. A couple of things God showed me and I told Dusty about, but not like that. And last year when we had our outreach, Dusty's friend Noah asked me if I've had any visions because everything that's been going on. I said, no, I'm scared too. He's like, well, why are you scared? I said, I don't know, I'm scared. And I haven't really done anything. And lately I've been feeling something's coming. Everybody's been feeling it. And I never watched TikTok before. I didn't like TikTok because it had a lot of stuff on it I didn't like to see. But when all this stuff started happening with Israel, I just was drawn to find out what's going on. I just knew that this was something. So I kept watching TikTok to see what's going on and keep up with the news. And this guy on there, a couple days out, about a week ago, when I told Dusty this happened, the guy on there that day said, it's weird, everybody's been talking about something's not right. Something is in the air. Something is coming. Something's going to happen. We just don't know what or when. And everybody's feeling it. Even non-Christians are feeling something's happening. And I thought about that, and I went to bed that night, and I couldn't sleep again. I woke up in the middle of the night, I couldn't sleep, and I kept thinking about that. And I remembered that talk I had with Dusty's friend, and then I realized why I haven't had a vision in a long time is because I'm not scared for me. So many times, Dusty, every time he talks about what's coming, what's going on, people get mad. I had people leave this church because they don't want to hear it. They get scared or whatever. They don't want their lives to be interrupted. And that's what I'm scared of, because I've talked about it with people, and I've had people, get mad at me just by talking about it. They don't want to hear it. And I think that's what it was. If I had a vision, I told them I'm afraid that people are going to turn away and get mad. And I also remember Dusty saying it doesn't matter if they leave. God told me to say it. God told me to warn them. And if I save one person by telling them, it's all worth it. And I said, okay, God, go ahead, tell me. And I closed my eyes, and first thing I seen was, it was like a city, and it was a road. And underneath the road was like lava, and it was like all broken, and you could see the lava. And that was the day that the volcano erupted in Iceland. And that's why, that's what he wants me to tell me. That something's going to erupt, and we got to warn the people because it's coming, it's going to erupt. And he said, no. And then I looked more, and in the city, around the lava, like there's these people. They weren't even looking at it. They didn't even know it was there. Like they were just ignoring it. And I had all these people that were around, and then they started talking, and I seen this dark shadow go up to the people that were talking. And he was to the people that were talking, and he was whispering in their ear, and he was telling them something, and they got angry and started fighting. And they started fighting. I'm like, oh, that's the devil, making them fight. And then all of a sudden I seen the shadow go to another group of people and got them fighting, and then to another group of people and got them fighting. And then I seen a bunch of other shadows start coming. They were like really dark shadows with little points on their head, and it was weird. And then I realized that's not the devil, it's demons whispering in people's ears. And then I started hearing what they're fighting about. And they're fighting about the wars going on. They're fighting about gay rights. They're fighting about politics. They're fighting about the presidents. And all why this is happening this pit that's full of lava is getting bigger and bigger. Nobody's noticing it. They're so busy fighting, nobody's noticing it. And a bunch of people got mad and scared, so they went into this building to go get weapons. Like, we gotta get weapons. There's gonna be a fight coming. We gotta get weapons. So they went into this building. They didn't come out with weapons. They came out, well, they did, but it wasn't guns or anything. It was a sword. They came out with swords. And then all of a sudden, this big, huge thing out of the pit started growing. This big black thing, it kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and all of a sudden it was a big, huge beast. And it was just there. And the people with the swords, there's more people coming out of the building, but the building was a church now, turned into a church. And all these people coming out of it had swords, and they were trying to fight this big beast. And everybody that was still in the background didn't notice it. They still didn't even see anything going on. And these people coming out of the church with the swords are trying to fight it, and every time somebody tried to go to fight it, they'd die. And I seen them go up. Another person, a couple of people tried to fight it, and they died and went up. And then a whole bunch of people are trying to fight this beast with their swords, and they kept dying. And I'm like, God, aren't you going to help them? And then all of a sudden, I seen all the people, lots and lots of people come out of church with their swords, and they all started trying to fight it. And I seen God say, okay, enough, and they all went up. And then I was up in heaven then, and I seen God, and all of a sudden I seen like an overview of the city and everybody down there and everything that was happening, and God was watching it. And I said, God, why aren't you helping them? And he turned to me and he said, I have to let them choose. I can't choose for them. They have to make the choice. There's nothing I can do. They have to make the choice. I can't save them. They have to save themselves. And it was so overwhelming, and I felt it so strong. I felt this overwhelming sadness, and the look on his face, he was so sad. It was like a loss, like he lost his children, and he knew all the ones that weren't going to choose him were going to be lost forever, and he couldn't do anything about it. And I just felt this overwhelming loss, and that was the end of the vision. But it was like for an hour after that, I was just laying in bed, just weeping and crying and crying and crying. I couldn't get this feeling of sadness off of me, because that's what Jesus felt. That's what God felt when he lost his children. All he felt was this sadness. And I just, for an hour after, and I waited for a couple hours to call Dusty because it was still early in the morning, and I finally called him and told him, and I still was feeling it. I still felt that overwhelming sadness in it. And God was telling me, I need to tell people, I need to warn them, because people are so consumed with what's going on, they're not watching what's happening. It's happening now. Before, when I used to have them visions of things coming, this was different. It's not coming, it's here, it's now. This is happening now. We don't have time to prepare. It's now. We have to watch, and we have to go into the churches and get our swords. It's not about getting guns and trying to fight like that. We have to get our swords and be ready. There's something coming, and it's already happening.